Environmental Performance Evaluation Part 4. For the first part, which is EPE review. EPE review is the final stage of plan, do, and check model. EPE illustrates the environmental performance achieved at a given time, and EPE can also help to identify opportunities for further improvements. How can we conduct a review? By addressing questions such as: is the organization's performance improving over time? How cost-effective is the EMS process? Are the right aspects and impacts being addressed? Are the data sources and analytical methods appropriate? After review, we can apply several actions to improve EPE. For example, by enhancing data quality, reliability, and availability. Identify new or improved indicators for EPE. Update the training professionals involved in a given EPE issue. Enhance analytical and evaluation ability. Improve the indicator selection process. So now, we move to guidelines and examples regarding the environmental performance evaluation. Before we discuss further, let's talk about the function of ISO140333 in EPE. The first function of ISO140333 is to provide guidelines for obtaining and also quantifying environmental information. Second, one is to provide an example of how EPE can work in the practice. Next, ISO140333 will be easier to manage the complexity of environmental data handling. And the last one is to assist the process of gathering and processing quantitative environmental information. But what is the function of quantitative environmental information in ISO 14033? Let's talk its function first. Quantitative environmental information will be environmental measures. And then it will calculate an assessment. It also will do the comparison, reporting, and communication in the quantitative environmental information. What is the standard in EPE? The standard in EPE is set out as key clauses. There have 3 clauses in the standard of EPE. First, Clause 4, which is to use quantitative environmental information. Second, Clause 5 is for principles in generating and providing quantitative environmental information. And the last clause is Clause 6, which is guidelines. Now, we talk regarding the Clause 4 first. It is standard for supports of quantitative environmental information, including to environmental performance indicators, environmental communications, life cycle assessment, and the last one of greenhouse gas emissions reports. For an example, comparing carbon dioxide from different production plants. What about Clause 5? Clause 5 is the section that focuses on outlines the fundamental principles that underpin quantitative information and explain why these are relevant. The principles include relevance, credibility, consistency, comparability, accuracy, and transparency. Clause 6, the guidelines. The guidelines place a strong focus on activities from the plan and do phases, with each plan phase task corresponding to a do phase job. The plan stage establishes the system's economic, physical, and organizational limits. The do stage emphasizes the need of having adequate measurement equipment and processes for collecting findings. The act stage relates to techniques to continuously enhance the process, depending on the check stage. Summary. Both ISO 14001 certification and EMAS verification demand that environmental performance be improved. ISO 14005 includes Environmental Performance Assessment, EPE, which is intended to give guidelines to enable SMEs to establish an EMS that is also consistent with ISO 14001. EPE is an internal management tool that informs managers about the performance of an organization's environmental system and if the goals of its environmental policy are being met. EPE is an effective auditing method for determining whether environmental elements, objectives, targets, and other environmental performance criteria are satisfied. Conclusion. The supplementary guidelines, examples, and case studies section of ISO 14031 includes practical examples of all the system components of environmental performance evaluation. It also shows how to establish and apply system limits, gather and aggregate quantitative data, and compare data in detail. Template-style tables based on the plan, do, check, act model are used to demonstrate how information and data may be presented, how EPE is used, and what actions are being done to enhance environmental performance.